It's actually where LG used to manufacture solar panels. We got out of the solar business and we had, I don't know if it was quite 1 million square feet, but it was a pretty big facility and it was just sitting empty. So, somebody over on the Eco Solutions side of the business, the HVAC side of the business said, hey, we could use that for the American market. And so we started the CV line of equipment, our new Unitary line of equipment, which if you've seen the black LG split system, that's the CV line.
If you're a contractor with multiple CSRs, check out this Service Business Mastery podcast partner, Lace.ai. Lace uses cutting-edge AI to analyze your phone calls, uncover lost revenue opportunities, and empower your CSRs to convert more leads. You can significantly increase revenue without spending extra on marketing or hiring by using Lace.ai to boost your conversion rates. For the first time, you can gain deep insights into customer needs at scale with minimal effort. Elevate your call center to achieve industry-leading booking rates and revenue. Visit www.lace.ai to book a demo today. Now back to the show.
Yo, Joshua, really fast, I want to talk about online scheduling for the trades and how they should be affordable, effective, and easy to manage. A really quick second here to share a little bit about the latest group of experts that we've teamed up with, Autobot.ai. Our team of industry experts has developed best-in-class scheduling app that seamlessly integrates with your CRM. Every booked job goes directly into your software and becomes one of our advanced marketing analytics, which is really cool. We can automatically select the marketing campaign of your choice based on how the customer came to your site.
Yeah, Tersh, those industry-leading analytics tells you everything that you're going to want to know about your lead, where they came from, what they did before scheduling, and what page they converted on, other things. On average, about 75% of people who start a booking with our app complete it, but we'll give you a more granular reporting that shows conversion rates based on marketing source and medium to help improve your marketing efforts.
So honestly, with no contracts, affordable monthly rates, and you really don't have anything to lose. And so it's a great program to try out. And if you use SBM, when you go to sign up for it, you'll actually save $1,500 on the setup fees. Honestly, give it a shot. Tell us what you think. Hello, everyone out there in podcast world. Hope you're having a wonderful day. You're listening to or watching Service Business Mastery podcast, and I am excited to have a good friend of mine, Dustin from LG. We've known each other for several years. We have some mutual friends. If you are going to be attending the Tap Into the Future event, you'll get to see him. And then LG is actually putting on an event right the week following Tap Into the Future down in Orlando. So you'll notice Josh isn't with us. He's actually traveling right now to Pantheon in California. So he won't be with us today on the show, but he's here with us in spirit. I'm excited to talk to Dustin about everything going on. I mean, LG, if you don't know who LG is, you have your head under a rock somewhere. I mean, it's a product that's everywhere, but they are really coming in like gangbusters in the Unitary side of things. And so I'm excited to talk to you about that today.
The Tampa area right now, actually been out visiting contractors with one of our distributors out here, and it's really nice to see all the enthusiasm around the new Unitary product, the split systems that we've got coming out, and got some package product coming up in the next 6 to 12 months. The only standalone full line manufacturer of HVAC products in America. I think everybody else is in bed with somebody.
What does that mean exactly?
Yeah, well, for us, it means, independence to do what we need to do to capture the market. For them, put up with a marriage or a girlfriend or, whatever situation they've got themselves in. I think some of them have a little bit more say so in the relationship than others, just like any relationship. It's just something we didn't want to go into as a company. And, Steve Scarborough, our senior vice president, the head of our residential and commercial heat and air divisions, he's gone through a marriage before in the industry, and that was one of the things that he wanted to stay away from. And that's why, he's been really the one that's pushed the whole Unitary move. That's leading us into some American manufacturing, and it's a big deal for us right now. And I think it's a big deal for the market to see us moving some of our production over to Huntsville, Alabama, and investing in the American market. Yeah.
A lot of people, they see LG appliances and they don't think about the LG Unitary products. And a lot of people didn't even know that was a thing. It's not even just a product that's backed by a massive brand, but it's actually a really good product. The fact that you can heat pump systems in such cold conditions without even having electric heat is kind of mind-blowing to me.
We're testing with the University of Alaska. We've got a facility, actually not even a facility, two homes that we built, one in Anchorage and one in Fairbanks. And over this last winter, I mean, Fairbanks gets super cold. Like Anchorage is cold, but at one point, Fairbanks was like negative 45 degrees. And with that LG red system, no auxiliary heat, the indoor temperature was 75 degrees. So when we're
That's
able to take
crazy.
that technology and bring that technology to market, man, that's a big deal. And that's all public information because it's with a public university. That's all published. We're leaving it out there for everybody else to see. And if they want to try to replicate it, they're welcome to. The one thing they won't have is R1 rotary compressor. So that's what makes it all possible.
Y'all don't use the same compressor that everybody else uses.
No, we don't
So
sell our
that
compressor to anybody else either, not the one that we use in our equipment. One of the things that I have to overcome when I'm out in the field is depending on the brand that has used an LG scroll compressor or something like that. A lot of times, whether it just be spec issues with the size of their coils or some other restriction, something like that. People have run across some LG scroll compressor issues, but I can tell you from working at LG and touch with a lot of the contractors we have in the program that as far as our compressor failure rate at LG, R1 rotary compressor, hands down, is the best in the market. I know I'm a little bit biased, but I mean, I think it's evident the warranty rates. We've got one of the best warranty rates in the market as a manufacturer of heat pumps. And then, also just reliability. We don't see a lot of failures on that end.
what refrigerant is used?
R32. And we made that decision early on. Something that we've had in the European market overseas for more than a decade. We had all the warranty information. We knew all about the testing data. So it was easy for us. I mean, you get a UL certification and some AHRI numbers, and you're pretty much ready to go to market. Where some of our competition has stumbled all over themselves trying to figure things out with R454B. A blend is already difficult. I was in the field when we made the transition from 22 to 410, and it's a whole other ball game. And the fact that some of them chose to do that to themselves after going through the 410 stuff, it was bad business decisions. And, they paid for it. They got their hands slapped.
Has the price of is it available yet? Like, I don't
I'm
I
not a
don't put in
contractor,
anything
man. You're
that's
the
R454B.
contractor. Yeah. I
I
mean,
don't do that, so I don't have to ask that question to the supply house. But
yeah. Yeah,
the last
it
I
still
checked,
comes
it
up in
wasn't available.
conversations. The contractors that I've talked to since I've been out doing these sales blitzes, and this isn't my first sales blitz this year. I mean, we're all over the country doing these things from Texas to Tennessee to down here in Florida, and it seems like it's still a topic. And I mean, hell, we're almost in October. I think it first started popping up back in April, May, and you would think they would have a solution by now. I know there's some companies selling like 99 or 90-pound drums and different things like that because those drums are more readily available. But I think a lot of it had to do with chemical shortages and stuff like that. There's a couple of different factors that fed into it.
That's interesting. So tell me about the fact that the inverter.
We don't make anything single stage or two stage. Everything we make is inverter driven. The package systems that are going to come out are all going to be inverter driven. We're an inverter company. The LG slogan is ahead of the expected. We always want to be on the leading edge. And there's other manufacturers that have touted they're going to have a full line of inverter only equipment and sometime by 2030 or something like that. But I mean, here we are in 2025. We're 5 years ahead of everybody else with nothing but inverters.
Well, does it not price you out of the market on your lower end? I mean, I'm sure on the 18 or 20s, just fine, but
There would be some price pressure, but our team has done a great job of market research and finding ways for us to be competitive. A lot of it is like we don't make an AC only product. We focus strictly on heat pumps. So you talk about lean manufacturing. We're able to kind of streamline our process because we're not making two or three different types of the same unit. That helps us a lot. And just the fact that we make more than 95% of the components that are in our products. So whether it's the compressor, the coils, the inverter boards, all of that stuff, because LG is such an electronic powerhouse, we're able to manufacture a lot of that stuff ourselves. And a lot of the cost for other manufacturers is the fact that they have to go to outside suppliers. And so that helps us keep a lot more cost control. And our 16 series, which is our entry level product, our CV product, that's actually what I'm out pitching this week, is price competitive with nearly every other manufacturer's single stage and two stage product. Now, we're not trying to be the cheapest in the market because we don't believe in just moving cheap boxes. We build relationships and we help dealers grow. And that's why, looking over here at the sponsors, Lace is one of our newest preferred vendors, and we've got a great relationship with that team. we're always looking to bring not only the best technology in our equipment, but also the best technology for our suite of business tools that we pitch to our dealers. So
How does
that's
that work as a dealer if they become a pro dealer with you?
I know a little bit about it. I haven't run the program for the last couple of years, and we're in the middle of a big revamp. But it's pretty simple, man. As an area sales manager would do, or say a manufacturer's rep with LG would do, our job, especially our contractor development reps, is to go out, sit down, ask questions to the contractor, get information about what the contractor's pain points are, and then provide solutions. And so it's my job on the back end to make sure that we've got a full suite of different products that they can use to help fix those pain points. The same thing that our heating and air contractors do when they go into a house. You ask open-ended questions, you find out what kind of issues the homeowner's having, and then you provide a solution. And we're not doing anything different here at LG. It's the same strategy. It's just we're helping you grow your business, whereas our HVAC dealers are helping a homeowner become.
That kind of leads me into another question, because with us being a partner of yours, we talk a lot about AI in general, just naturally. How do you feel like it's going to affect production in the future?
Production from a manufacturing standpoint?
Yeah.
We already use a lot of automation. If you ever get the privilege of going to Korea and seeing our factories, we have workers in there, obviously, but a lot of stuff is done with robotics. And I think what you're going to see is you're going to see less manufacturer defects, because robot's going to be able to learn. And if it makes a mistake, and where in the past it would just make that same mistake over and over and over again, and then next thing you know, you've got a bad run of product and you're having to go back and fix things. I think it's going to eliminate a lot of those issues. I don't see the day where humans are replaced. I think you see that a lot too, right? AI is to make humans better. It's not necessarily to replace humans, unless you're frontline customer support somewhere. You're not really threatened at your job. And I think in manufacturing situations, it's the same thing. Robots aren't going to replace the humans, but where we are using robots, and even where we're using our humans, they're going to become better at what they do because of the intuition, the intelligence AI is going to be able to bring to the table in reporting and everything else to help us, first off, become more efficient at production, cut down on any kind of defects, and then also just increase overall morale and everything else. Everybody's job is going to be easier. I know it makes my job easier just using Chat GPT to get things done. So where I might spend 2 or 3 weeks working on a proposal, or some kind of sales playbook or education for internal employees or external customers, me personally, I can get my job done 2 or 3 times as fast. I might have to go back and tweak some stuff and kind of LGify it. It definitely makes life easier on my end. I think it's going to be the same thing in the manufacturing world.
Hello, home service professionals. Do you want to maximize your marketing budget? Then you need to be using call tracking from CallRail. Let's say you noticed a spike in new leads this month. To find out what's driving them, you just log into your CallRail dashboard. Is my new Facebook ad outperforming my other ads? Or is paid search knocking it out of the park? Or maybe it's time to retire those newspaper ads. Since CallRail assigns a unique phone number to each of my marketing efforts, I know where my best leads come from and which efforts to scrap. CallRail shows you your most cost-effective marketing channels so you can get back to business. Go to callrail.com/SBMpod and try it for free.
Today's episode is powered by Cirrus Systems.
Cirrus is all about removing the clutter and unnecessary touch points to run your home service business profitably.
They use AI dispatching to get the right tech to the right call automatically, and job time efficiency to ensure your entire team runs like a profit-generating machine.
Get a tech upgrade for your business at get.sarah.tech/service-business-mastery. Today's episode is brought to you by one of our show partners, Upfrog.
Upfrog is the OG when it comes to pricing transparency online. They find system replacement leads through paid ads and have developed an entire system to drive those hard-to-find system replacement opportunities, nurture the leads, and book them into sold systems before your team arrives to help you grow your business.
Learn more at upfrog.io. I want to give a huge shout out to Marcus Storm for sponsoring today's episode.
You've heard of Google Ads, Facebook ads, and SEO, but did you know that there's an entire ecosystem, like 80% of the internet, that ads can be served on that you barely heard about?
That's where Marcus Storm operates.
They leverage data science and AI to build customer profiles for your ideal customers and get your ads in front of prospects before they are ready to hire a pro, planting your brand in their minds early and often.
To chat with a team about how they can help you grow your business, visit marcusstorm.ai.
The thing about chat GPT, man, it changes so much. Like there were so many automations that I had built out with 4 turbo, and then they swapped us over to 5, which was supposed to take over the world, according to Sam Altman. And then
Hasn't been as good as I thought it was going to be.
It's been a massive letdown. It's crazy how much, and they popped it up real fast. I mean, to the public anyways. It was like, all right, 5's out. You're like, okay, let's
maybe they should have called it 4.5 or something. It's not
something.
I don't know if it's a whole level above 4.
You're exactly right, because there's so many times, and you can go into a legacy model finally, so you can go back, you can revert back to your 4.0 if you want to, but there's some things it does better, but that's the way it goes with technology in general. Has it affected positively or negatively the fact that LG has such a massive name already? And they, correct me if I'm wrong, they're not the same, like it's the same big company, but they're split apart, correct?
So we call it the mothership, right? And up under the mothership, you've got multiple division. We work with some of them, and some of them we don't. Actually, Eco Solutions, which is where HVAC falls under. You probably know, you live down in Savannah market. The energy solutions side of the business is completely separate from us. Now they were the ones that were involved in the factory down there. The Koreans live really close to China, and they're really protective of the technology. And so when they're setting up systems, especially important systems and stuff like that, they try to make sure that they keep their trade secrets. And so that's why you had the situation you had in Savannah. But they're a separate entity from us. Our profits don't report back through them or anything like that. Now, when we were up under appliances, we were all on the same team. And I mean, it's not hard to think about HVAC being an appliance, right? It is
Sure.
kind of an appliance. It's just a really important appliance. But to be broken out from under them for the first time ever has given us a lot of flexibility that we didn't have before. And we're a pretty profitable portion of LG, just for our weight.
Good.
We punch heavy, right? And as we grow, that profitability is going to give us even more flexibility, because then we're able to do things without having to necessarily ask for permission from the mothership. But yeah, LG is a huge, multinational, 100 billion plus a year operation. It's intimidating sometimes, because you do have to jump through a lot of hoops to get stuff done from a budget standpoint and different things like that. But it's a great company, and there's a lot of us that have come over here recently, and the whole thing has been, not only do we have great leaders and people like Steve and Darren and Suzanne, and I know y'all know Suzanne. Mark Rogers and aftermarket support has been phenomenal. He's really revamping that side of our business and
What
making
is that
it easier to
exactly?
do business. So Mark is in charge of all of our field support operations, technical support operations. He's actually moving to Texas, because our technical support facility, our main call center for technical support, is in Texas, and we've got a lab out there and everything else. But he wanted to be closer to where the action is, and so he moved out there. I believe they're in the process of moving this week. So Winona, y'all know
Oh, okay.
Winona
Yeah.
and Mark are moving out to Texas, and 10 to 15 people out there answering the phones and making sure that any kind of technical issues that you guys are having in the field, and even handling some customer centric stuff if they've got some technical problems, to get escalated up to them. In the past, LG has had support issues, and we've been transparent about it. Even our CEO has been transparent about it. But at the end of the day, it's not about where you were yesterday. It's about what you're doing going forward. And Mark Rogers and that team over there are making a lot of strides and getting a lot of stuff done to make sure that we got support structure in place to take care of Unitary customers. Because in the ductless market, yeah, maybe you could be 2 or 3 weeks out on a part. It's operating in a she shed, or it's in a garage, or it's in a room over the garage. But getting into the unitary business, man, somebody's system goes down and you tell them to wait 2 weeks, that's not a good situation. You have that stuff yanked out, file a lawsuit, something like that. And I know contractors listen to this podcast and they're probably thinking the same thing, like, yeah, you can't wait on parts. And it was one of the things before I came over, it was you go into any forum or anything like that, and you would see people just bashing us. And so, before I came on, I got reassurance from leadership that, hey, this is something that we know is a focus. We're going to make sure things get better as we move forward. And I think if you talk to any contractors that have been with us over the long term, we're definitely in a better position today, and we're only getting better because Mark and his team are working their butt off and making things happen.
So tell me this really quick for those who are listening and heard me mention the fact that you're using inverters in all of the systems. Typically, when I hear like you have an inverter compressor, I think electrical issues potentially. Every system have a surge protector. Yeah.
We recommend it. It's highly recommended. I've got an inverter system on my house. I've got a surge protector. I think any of the work you do, probably if you're dealing with inverters, right? If they don't have one, you're probably trying to upsell them on one. It's something I think is going to be the standard going forward, just because the grid is in Georgia, at least, it's stable. But you get out to pockets in Texas and other areas, and you might have issues.
We swapped over from Georgia Power to an EMC, and it wasn't my choice. I mean, I do like the EMC way better than I liked Georgia Power, but one of the issues that we ran into was they had where the power flickered every day. Like I purchased battery backups for all of my computers and my server and everything, because it wasn't like it turned off and then turned back on 10 minutes later. It was boom, boom.
And that's not good for any system. I mean, it's not just inverter systems. Every system nowadays has a board on it, and they're all susceptible to any kind of power fluctuations, surges, anything like that. So, I think if you're a contractor and you're doing your due diligence and making sure you're taking care of your customers, you're putting a surge protector on there anyway. But another thing is, and especially with some older guys in the business who are just dead set on, they're going to hang out with the capacitor and the blower motor, and they want things to be easy. Fact of the matter is, our equipment, especially on the LG side, is very easy to work on. We've got a Bluetooth tool. You plug in a little dongle into your outdoor unit, and you can sit there and you can look at every single sensor, every valve, the compressor. You can see
There's
your
no guesswork
your
involved.
subcool, and it's all right there on your cell phone or your iPad. So we make it super easy to troubleshoot
Oh
our
yeah.
equipment. Even the guys who are a little bit scared of the technology, or into the inverter side of the business, even in my years with another manufacturer, we always preach, get the dealer to make the homeowner comfortable.
If we don't love it, we're not selling it.
You've got to make them comfortable. You've got to do your due diligence on the manufacturer side to make sure that your guys are comfortable with the technology, they understand the technology, they know who to call when they do have an issue, and they know how to get through the troubleshooting process. But I think once you get it down and you've done it enough times, it's just like anything else. You become a master at your trade, and it becomes night and day as far as a contractor who just starts selling inverter equipment versus you talk to them 2 or 3 years down the road, they don't want to sell anything else. There's a reason for that.
Thank you to Company Cam for supporting today's episode.
These guys are changing the game for contractors with their smart photo app.
Keep your projects documented and streamline your team's communication with even your most complicated jobs.
Try it for free for 14 days and get 25% off of your first 2 months at companycam.com/SBM.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I agree. Like especially if you haven't had support, and then because the contractor is who gets the bad rap, I mean, of course the manufacturer, they get some pushback as well. But it's me having to look at, somebody else that's, another parent on the soccer team who I just put in a system and like, I can't get it fixed. And the manufacturer's 6 weeks out on a part.
Yeah.
And now I'm seeing them every day at practice, and I'm like, ooh.
Right. I mean, that's the
And
thing.
so you lose faith in it.
Yeah. And I think that's another thing about LG that a lot of people might not realize is a lot of the employees, a lot of the salespeople, and then a lot of the people who work inside the corporate office have all been contractors. Even our senior vice president has been a contractor. So we know you've got to go to church with those people. You've got to go to school functions with those people. I always say heating and air contractors are superheroes. But in some people's eyes, if you do the wrong thing one time, you become the villain. And the last thing we want is for our guys to be viewed as villains in their community, because that's your reputation, it's your livelihood, and not everybody has sold out to private equity yet. So and we've got a major emphasis on the mom and pop shops, and trying to make sure that we're taking care of them. And that's kind of my whole purpose in the program, is to make sure that we're giving our mom and pop shops the same kind of competitive advantage that the private equity companies have with some of the partners that we bring in.
That's really cool. That's interesting. You don't have distributors everywhere, correct? Because I don't think you have one in my neighborhood, do you?
We don't have any in Georgia yet. There's and it's our headquarters is in Alpharetta, Georgia, for the Eco Solutions side of the business. But I think things will change, and they're probably likely to change soon. There's a lot of conversations going on, a lot of balls that are moving. Nothing that's like snowballing.
With the distributor side of things, do you don't, I'm assuming you don't normally have like an LG supply house. Like you would partner up with someone else, like another like bigger company, like not bigger, but
Talking about mom and pop shops, a lot of our distributors are still mom and pop owned. Now we've got some private equity partners and stuff like that we deal with in distribution, because just like heating and air contractors are getting gobbled up by private equity, that end, I think that having our model dealing with a lot of independent wholesale distributors versus a corporate direct model is really kind of, I would say, gives us flexibility to do things that we wouldn't otherwise be able to do if we were selling direct to contractors, right?
what sort of stuff do you think? Like what kind of flexibility? I am completely ignorant with this whole situation, so I don't have any
Yeah,
idea
well,
on
I mean,
what
I've,
goes
I've
on
worked
behind
for
the
a
curtains.
manufacturer that had direct distribution before.
Yeah, I
And
do
look,
know
a
that. Yeah.
manufacturer is really good at making products, but a lot of times it can be really difficult to do business with a manufacturer on the
Got it.
distribution side. And I'm
Okay,
not
that
going to
makes
name
sense.
any names, but
Yeah, I know who it is.
there's some people that it's hard to do business with. And I can tell
Yeah.
you internally, like, we're a giant corporation. Sometimes it's really difficult for me as an employee to get some stuff done. I think at the end of the day, working through these mom and pop distributors, and them having the ability to make decisions on the fly and not have to go in front of a board of directors, or to answer to shareholders and different things like that. That is what I mean by it gives us the flexibility. We can work with our distributors and craft any kind of program, any kind of plan, any kind of strategy. And just like we help contractors build their business and provide tools and solutions for them, we do the same thing for our distributors. So there's a lot of resources. I was talking about Mark Rogers earlier. Winona Rogers has been instrumental in bringing partners into the business on the distribution side, the same way that I am, not the commercial, but the contractor side, to give them tools and resources. We're doing the same thing with distribution. Winona's spearheading that and making sure that we've got a lot to offer our distributors as well.
If somebody wants to become a pro dealer, how do you make that happen?
There's a few different ways. You can reach out to your local LG distributor if you know who that is. If you're in a market without distribution, then you can always reach out to one of our area sales managers. You can do that through our website. Now, if you go to lghvac.com and look for the contractor button, there's a sign up form. Suzanne would probably get mad at me for not knowing the exact hyperlink, but it's in lghvac.com. You can go in there, and what that does is that gives us your information, and we can get that to a sponsor in your area, which would be the distributor, and get you signed up and get you into the program. And our program's going through a major revamp. So there is a lot of stuff that we're going to be releasing in Orlando. So for the contractors who are listening, who are going to be in Orlando, you're going to see a lot of new stuff, including some software and different things like that you'll be able to utilize on a mobile platform. We're coming there. There's going to be a lot of stuff that gets released. So I wish I could talk about it on here, because it'd be a great place to hype it. But I can at least put some more energy behind the summit, and make sure that everybody wants to be there, at least hear from somebody that was there.
Tell us who that is. Like, tell us about the summit.
The summit is in Orlando, October 9th through 11th. We're already over capacity, and we got people on the waiting list. It's been phenomenal this year.
Dang,
Yeah,
that's
man.
good.
We're it's going to be a good year. I'll send you my GoFundMe so everybody can send me money to pay for overages on the budget. But we've got a lot going on, so we're kind of redoing the way that we do things. In the past, I think, and it's not just with us, it's been with a lot of other manufacturers as well. People just get slide decked to death.
Yes.
And
Yep.
I know personally, I can't sit through 60, 70 slides at a time. So a
No.
lot of our workshops, and you notice the term workshops versus breakouts, right? No 30, 45-minute breakouts. We're doing 6 or 7 different workshops. They're all 2 hours long. We're giving people some free time to go out and have fun while they're in Orlando so they can take advantage of being in Florida and having access to a bunch of fun activities, especially the resort that we're going to be on site with, the World Center Marriott down there in Orlando. But then
Yeah.
outside of that, we're saving our main stage presentations for the final day. So, the contractors who want to leave early aren't going to get all the good info. And that was on purpose. We want them to kind of, dangle that carrot out there and make them wait for the general session and to hear the state of the program and the marketing activities. Steve is going to close it out, the state of LG, and kind of give people a big picture of where we're headed. And I don't think it's any secret now. We've got a manufacturing facility in Huntsville, Alabama, that is growing by the minute. We're retooling and adding to that constantly.
Is it done? Like, I mean, is it built?
But it's actually a finished facility. So it's actually where LG used to manufacture solar panels. We got out of the solar business and we had, I don't know if it was quite 1 million square feet, but it was a pretty big facility.
Massive.
And it was
Yeah.
just sitting empty. And so,
Mm.
somebody over on the Eco Solutions side of the business, the HVAC side of the business said, hey, we could use that for the American market. And so we started the CV line of equipment, our new Unitary line of equipment, which if you've seen the black LG split system, that's the CV line. The indoor unit right now is being manufactured there. We're moving that entire line of equipment there from overseas. Currently, they're retooling and adding for that. And then I can go ahead and let the cat out of the bag. It's not a secret. We talk about it to dealers and stuff today, but we're also going to have 2 to 25 ton package systems, single phase and 3-phase. They'll be coming out over the next year and a half. There's a lot that's going to be manufactured in that Huntsville facility. And I'm looking forward to it because I think, when it comes down to being able to do factory tours, we're always having to fly people over to Korea. Now we'll be able to just bring people to Rocket City and launch them in the LG world. So that'll be nice.
So I know there's other people who might have this burning question that I have here, and that is, since you're at LG, do you get you an amazing discount on a TV?
We do. And if you're an LG dealer, you get the same employee discounts I get. That's one of the things I love being out here in Florida this week doing the sales blitz that I'm on. As you can see, I'm in a hotel room. One of the things that I always talk about that differentiates us from a lot of the other manufacturers is you get access to our partner portal, the same portal that I have access to, same pricing that I have access to as an employee. I'm limited to 10 purchases a year. I haven't used any this year. So if you need anything, let me know. But our contractors have the same deals on appliances, televisions, vacuum cleaners. LG makes a phenomenal laptop. They're really light. The battery lasts forever. So if you're ever in the market for a laptop or anything like that, we make some really quality stuff. I do not understand why we don't push our laptops more, advertise those more. But I bought one for my daughter when she went off to college. I work on one every day because LG doesn't let us work on anybody else's equipment. I've made up my mind that if I buy another laptop or anything like that, it'll definitely be using my employee discount. And then obviously you can't beat our TVs. Our TVs are so good. We make displays for other people too. If you're walking through the Atlanta airport or anywhere like that, most of the stadiums in the country, any of those big screens, and it's an exciting time to be an LG Pro dealer. LG, when they wanted to be number one at appliances and when they wanted to be number one in displays, they became number one. And right now they want to be number one in HVAC. And I would say to anybody out there looking to be a pro dealer or even a distributor, now's the right time to get on board because the investments are being made, the products are being designed, the R&D is the majority of the R&D budget for LG as a whole. We talked about the mothership technology for this section of the business. We've got a lot of eyes on us. It's a really good time to be here. Do it with some special people, and we've really got a talented group of people over here at LG, and it's only getting better every day.
LGHVAC.com, and then I actually put out the full URL. I found it, and so it's in the chat. It'll be in the show notes. Who's it? Winona in charge of it?
In charge of the dealer link?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
who would
Suzanne, the
give me
marketing
that?
team.
If it's a
Winona's on the
different one.
marketing team.
Suzanne.
Yeah.
Suzanne. That's what I'm thinking
Yep.
of. Suzanne. If I gave you the wrong one, she'll correct me, and I'll put the right one in the show notes.
If it's got a form to fill out, it's the right one.
It does have a form to fill out, so that must be the right one.
If anybody wants any information on the products or anything like that, it all lives on LG HVAC. You can go and look at all the submittals and everything like that. And I can tell you the CV line in particular, brand new, the black stuff, right? The 16 SEER entry level product that we're making, the specs will blow your mind. I'm down here in Florida, and one of the things I've been talking about is humidity removal. 7 pints per hour on a 3-ton is really good, man. It's like a faucet thing running outside.
That's been an issue with some inverter products, is the humidity removal aspect of it. It's really cool that you have that. It's worked out there.
Yep. It's good stuff.
Well, I appreciate you hanging out with us. If anybody has any questions, don't hesitate, lghvac.com. If you want to meet them in person and you're not signed up for the pro dealer yet.
Can't sign up for we're done, man. So if you want to see me, you come to Tap Into the Future in Savannah, and you get to see Tersh too, right?
There are a couple tickets left. So if you do want to come to Savannah and hang out with the Bananas.
Who doesn't want to see the Bananas? I can't flip through the TV and not stop on the Bananas game if it's on.
100%. Dustin, I appreciate you hanging out with me, Blaze.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah, I'll talk to y'all soon.
All right. See you, Tersh.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Service Business Mastery. Now that you are equipped with essential business advice from this impactful conversation, you are one step closer to becoming the successful owner of your dreams. If this episode has been helpful to your business journey, don't forget to subscribe to the show, leave a rating, and share it with other owners as well. Visit servicebusinessmastery.com to learn more.